from SederQuilts with a quick tip Tuesday for you today about turning on your Pro Stitcher Premium. Every time you're done using your quilter, you should really unplug it. You don't want it left plugged in because if for some reason there's a power surge or a power drop, if you have your computer on and there's a zap of something that goes through and messes up your computer, that's not under warranty if you had it plugged in and you weren't using it. So get in the habit of every time you are done quilting, shut it down and turn it off and unplug it properly. And then when you start, you plug it in. Give it a moment and then turn on the power switch in the back. There's a little 0 and a 1. I find it really hard to remember sometimes which is on and which is off, and whether it's an I and an O or whatnot. If you think of it as a 1 and a 0 and you think, how much power do I want? Do I want 0 power? That's off. Or do I want 1 power? That's on. So that's how I remember it. 0 or 1. Turn it on. You want 1 power. After you give it a moment, then you want to also turn it on up front. Some machines have 2 places to turn the machines on and off. Some of them only have 1. That's the power switch. This turns it on up front. And there's a little red button down here just under the handlebar. Yours might be in a slightly different place, but when I press this, things turn on. Ta-da! Wait for your stitch regulator to turn on and be fully there and awake before you turn on the tablet. Now, if you're going to be in free motion, you don't even need to turn the tablet on. So if you're just stabilizing a few things and you're not going to be using your Pro Stitcher, you don't even have to turn on the tablet if you aren't going to be using that part. But once this is on and you want to use your tablet, go ahead and turn it on. And I can be kind of impatient sometimes while this is turning on. It takes a little while. So while you're waiting for that, you can be attaching your side clamps and things, but it does take a little while. Speaking of that, sometimes when it's actually stitching, it takes a little while too. Even though we can't see what it's doing, it's kind of like when we are setting up and prepping and getting things ready, or cleaning things up and putting things away afterwards. It takes it a little while. It is doing lots and lots of things. It's thinking, it's pulling, it's grabbing, it's opening things up, it's seeing if everything was done. It takes a little while. See how long this is? But you have to give it a little time. And don't be moving the machine while you're waiting for it to turn on, because if you are moving it while it suddenly decides, oh, now I'm going to be engaging the motors and the carriage and things, yeah, you don't want to be moving it around. So just leave it and be patient. I know some of us, that's harder for some of us to do than others. But oh, now you can see that it's finally, and it's making noises because it's turning things on. Once it's finally on, now you can do things. Once you're all done for the day, now the same thing. Let's pretend I had a bunch of things open here. Let's bring up a few different things. And let's bring up a workspace. Okay, so we have all kinds of things on the screen. Things are here. I'm all done for the day. Make sure you have saved, renamed, and saved things properly. But when you are done quilting, you want to shut it down nicely. So I usually will clear all. I go up to File, I clear all, and that takes everything off. And it gives it a moment to clean up the desk, okay? And then I shut it down. And again, you need to wait, give it time. It is clearing off the desk, it's putting all the files away, it's shutting the drawers, and it's turning off the lights and whatnot. It takes a while for it to shut down, and especially if you've had lots of things open. Once it finally goes black, give it a moment, and then turn off the regular part of the machine. If you turn it off too soon and it's still putting away the files and shutting the drawers and whatnot, it doesn't finish some of its functions. And so when you turn it back on again, and especially if you turn it off and turn it on quickly, sometimes it's not done doing all of its stuff. So give it a moment before you turn this off, and then give it a moment before you turn the other thing off. I know, sometimes I'm in a hurry too, and I want to just hurry up and turn it off and get it done. But give it a moment before you do the next step, and then unplug it And you know, these power cords are replaceable. If you are worried about plugging it in and unplugging it and bending the things and ruining the plug, oh my goodness, this is so much cheaper to replace than maintenance and replacement of your computer and software and things. So these are easy to replace. I've replaced a couple of them over the years, and you can get them through Handy Quilter or Baby Lock, your machine brand, or you can take it into your local stores if you have a, oh, what are the different ones? You know, a Target or a Best Buy or whatever your places are around town that you could buy stuff like this. Yeah, or you could buy them online. These are cheap compared to replacing software and or your computer. So make sure you unplug it every time you're not using it and put it back on in order. Plug it in, turn it on, wait, turn on the other part, wait, wait for it to engage, and then get started. And then shut it down in the right order too. I know this maybe sounds simple, but oh, it's so important, and it's good to get into good habits. Because, oh, the one time you don't do what you normally do, that's when the electrical storm is going to come through, or the earthquakes, or the fires, or whatever else. Life happens. And so it's just a good idea. Get into the good habit of unplugging it every time, plugging it in and turning it on properly, and giving it time to do that. It's important. All right. You'll thank me later someday. See you later. Toodaloo.